Guess who's back? German's back. Everybody asked for German. You haven't been around. You have been around, but you haven't been in videos. I was traveling and everybody keeps asking for you. German's back in today's video. Welcome to flipping $400 into a Ferrari. We're gonna go over what we bought at auction for $6,000, 2 cars, and what's up with that Bentley today. Kind of cool video. German's back, and I'm gonna let him do all the talking today. My name's Craig from Flying Wheels. Again, German. Welcome to flipping $400 into a Ferrari. Last week going to the auction was $6,000 because we have that Bentley that's been sitting for a while. I can't tell you how many 400 credit scores want to buy that car. I love the car, but I hate the car because of the buyers. It's a freaking nightmare. All I get is application after application with bad credit and no down payment, or people offering like 20K cash today. I have something to say to them, and I'm not going to say it on this video. Show us this TSX or TL or whatever we bought the other day. This might be the buy of the day. 08 Acura TL. Ugh, and it stinks like a monkey's butt. How do I know what a monkey's butt smells like? I don't really know why I said that. Gross. This is a nasty car, but the price is right. Dang. How do you do this in 118,000 miles? Ugh, I thought it was the buy of the day till I looked inside it. Oh, I think it's an 07.
07.
Is it a TSX or TL?
TL.
So this thing was going through the auction. I raised my hand like last minute. It was like, if you look at it from right here, here's where I was standing. I was standing right here. And it was like 1,500, 1,800, 2 grand. And I'm like, 3 grand, I think. And I'm like, for a TL that looks this good, I raised my hand and bought it. The problem was the actual condition. I'll let you go through it because you've actually gone through this more than I have.
Yeah, so it's tan interior.
Wait a minute. You got to start with what's going on right here, right off the bat.
All right, so over here, as you folks can see, we have a crate for a seat. Our seat, the leather, it's like horrible on the driver's seat.
I'm going to start working on this personally. Throughout this series, German does all the real dirty labor. Today, I'm going to do a little bit. I'm going to try to ease the burden on him because we have a lot going on. So this Acura TL is nasty. If I'm ever going to work on a car, this is probably the last one I want to work on. But today, I'm going to work on it. We're going to try to clean this thing up and maybe get it in somewhat sellable shape. There was a driver sitting in it when I bought it. There was no way I could have seen that beforehand.
So here we go. This is our driver's seat, which we've pulled out. And we're trying to determine what we're going to do with it.
So here's the good thing. I called the upholsterer up the road. They don't call me back. I called the upholsterer that I usually use like 30 minutes from here. They finally called me back and said, sorry, guess what? We don't have enough staff and we're too busy. Common, like every single vendor that we work with, it's affecting our business because why? They're too busy and they don't have enough help. AutoZone, I can't even get them to answer the phone. Town Fair Tire?
Oh my God, a whole day to get 4 tires swapped on a vehicle. We had to actually go there.
Swapped. We didn't even need new tires. We just needed tires swapped. Took them 2 days and they don't answer their phones. That's what the whole world is happening right now. This TL seat, apparently this is common. I don't know how the heck that happens. It looks like somebody sat down with razor blades in their pocket. I cannot find a TL seat in a junkyard anywhere across the country. Not eBay, not LKQ, not CarPart, nowhere. This is where you come in handy though. Tell them.
So we pulled it out, and I called a friend of mine, a local friend of mine in Lawrence, and he said he can get it done in a day, $250, but not leather binder. What do you think?
German knows all the OGs, right? Is it an old guy?
Yeah.
Is it an old guy? It is an old guy. $250 to do just that lower section, right?
Yes.
And he's gonna do it in vinyl, but he says it's gonna, I don't even know how you can make this match because it's so dirty too. It should almost be cleaned before we do it so he can match to the clean vinyl, not the dirty vinyl. $250, you think that's worth it? Or just sell it with seat covers?
I almost say seat covers because, like you said, matching it.
Match is gonna be
it's
tough.
Gonna be brand new versus.
But getting in an Acura with seat covers is gonna be kind of a bummer too, so I can't really decide.
Everybody's gonna want to.
They're all gonna take it up.
Yeah.
What do you guys think? I don't even know. Let's go back to that car. Oh, this thing's nasty. Look at the carpets. Oh, it's
Right, the miles are right for the year on the vehicle.
This is nasty.
It is.
Can you get all this stuff out?
I'm hoping. I'm really hoping. We're gonna have to like soak it really bad.
That showed up. What's that?
This is our tail lamp. So passenger side tail lamp that Craig couldn't see because he was buying the car from the opposite side.
This is what happens when you go against my advice. I don't do what I tell you guys to always be doing. Walk around the car. Don't just pick and choose your cars. Go and look in advance. I didn't do that. I just raised my hand. We got a cracked taillight. This needs some bumper work down here. This is kind of a project I bought for us.
Decent tires.
Good tires, and it's an Acura. It's a Honda. We'll do well with this. Going into tax season in like a month and a half, 2 months, we'll do okay, but we have a hell of a project on our hands. There's something weird about jump starting it too. Can you show me that?
Papa Al told me it's missing a relay. So we have
Right there,
to
right?
jump it. Yeah, from here to here we have to jump it. Jump start it. The battery.
Not terribly old. So you put the negative on, and then you just put, what, the positive on one side? Or
get jump wires for here.
oh, you have to physically like jump the connection.
Yes.
Oh, all right.
Starts up. Runs really well. Smooth.
Inspection is not that expired. Expired 2 months ago, so that's not terrible either. Let's go over to that one, because that one's done now, isn't it? This 06 Jeep Grand Cherokee, 177,000 miles. There's a ton of miles. Lift kit. I paid like not a lot of money for this. I forget what I paid. Do you guys remember what I paid for this thing? If you saw last video, you should. Here's my Grand Cherokee 05, 177,000 miles. Has a current inspection sticker from July, which is awesome for me. Typical stains. These seats used to get stained in 2005. Brand new ones used to stain. Smells like cigarettes. I love that it has a 2-inch lift kit on a Grand Cherokee. I think that's kind of appealing. 4-wheel drive going into winter, inexpensive car going into tax season. I'm gonna go around the other side. Tell me what you had to do to it. This thing was pretty gross, and these seats stained terribly.
Yes.
And you got just about everything out. That looks like about it for stains, and this was way worse. What did you do to get all these stains out?
So we had to just hit it with some degreaser, scrub it really good, then typhoon it.
So just
Couple
air
of
dry?
times. Yeah, air dry.
Did you have to take these seats out at all?
No, we just blew everything out.
All right, what about the carpets?
The carpets, we did the same.
Now, if these get really bad, you can take these out, and you can scrub them, soak them, let everything run down, and then let it air dry. Don't put it back in the vehicle, otherwise you just put a ton of moisture in the car. You could create mold. Dash looks good.
And 77 on the
And it actually runs pretty well. Dave went through this already. Let's check with Dave. Oh, I bought a wiper stock. See that right there? Flick that. Yeah, that's loose. I bought a new one of those for it on eBay.
I know this one does work.
It works still? Oh, came with a current inspection sticker too. The body looks great. What did you do? Just buff it?
Yeah.
All it needs was a polish?
Yeah, all it needs was polish. Cleaned up really good. Bumper was replaced, so my lights don't look that good.
Oh, one brand new headlight, one cloudy headlight. So that headlight's been replaced, obviously. It's too bad they just didn't replace both headlights. So silly. The Jeep Grand Cherokee, we need washer fluid reservoir,
Washer fluid reservoir and the windshield wiper
windshield wiper,
switch.
Was that it?
Steering column.
Steering column. It came with a car inspection sticker, which is a good sign for us. There was that weird wiring though. Someone had like rigged like strobe lights to the front that go on your bicycle, and it's awesome. They like wired it not to the battery, but to the inside switch that they put a zip tie on with a battery pack, and that's how they were wiring their fog lights. They'd like hit the on button that's wired through batteries to turn their fog lights on that are like bicycle fog lights. That's weird that somebody would treat their car like that. Check this out while we're off topic. This is my R33 Skyline, which will be going to my brother's shortly. RB25 turbo, obviously manual transmission, rear wheel drive. It is not a GTR. I'll go over the difference between GTRs and R33 GTSTs and all that in a completely different video, but that is going to my brother's hopefully this week. And then, hey, check out my baby. Somebody that watches my channel builds racing wheels for these cars, and he said he's going to surprise me with some black wheels, because if you guys know this car, you know I wish I ordered it with black wheels. So I'm super excited to see what this surprise is coming up in a different video. I'm going to get on that Acura TL and start cleaning the interior. I got to get those carpets clean. I'm going to try to get those seats as clean as I can to know what we're working with, and then from there we'll figure out if we're going to take it to the upholsterer, because I want to see what the rest of the car looks like. It doesn't make sense to have one clean bottom of a seat when all the rest are gross too. So we'll figure it out when that is getting detailed. I'll show you what we do to detail it, how we clean the carpets. That's in this video coming up in like 30 seconds. Also, if you ever want to learn how to buy and sell cars for profit and do it legally without a dealer's license, I'm teaching you in Car Flipping 101. That's how I got started in this entire business before I owned everything that I own now. I was buying and selling cars out of my driveway. I can teach you how to do it step by step, like really in depth at Car Flipping 101. If you ever want to know how to start your own car dealership, I'm talking like how the auction works, what vendors to use, how to get financing for your customers, subprime and good credit, everything that took me 20 years to learn is in startyourdealership.com. Both links are down below. Let's get on with the Acura. Hey, it's the next day, and so this Acura TL is nasty. If I'm ever gonna work on a car, this is probably the last one I wanna work on. But today I'm gonna work on it. We're gonna try to clean this thing up and maybe get it in somewhat sellable shape. There's some really, really cool news though. So I showed you the condition of those nasty seats on that. Well, a YouTube subscriber called me and said, Craig, sadly my grandfather passed away, but we have his Honda Odyssey we want to sell you. Are you interested? If you know me, I have 3 kids. My wife loves minivans. She has 0 interest in the Escalade. She wants minivans. I cannot find minivans. He saw a video and he said, I got this Odyssey. You got to check it out. Grandfather was the original owner. What's cool about it is this right here is a seat cover. A leather seat cover that should match the Acura Honda leather seat cover that's going to go on that over there. Now I just have to work on getting this thing started so I can actually move it to get working on it. I'm going to show you the whole process of what I do to get this thing detailed and ready for sale. Until we get the relay we need to jump this thing, we have created this little jumper. So I got my battery pack connected. Let's see if this thing will jump start. Heck yeah, Dave, you figured it out. That's awesome. Always roll down the window because you never know if the car locks itself. Then you get the car running, locked, you're stuck out of it. First thing we're gonna do, vacuum, because you can see with the seat out how nasty that actually is. We're gonna vacuum it, then we're gonna blow everything out with our Typhoon, then we're gonna vacuum it again. McDonald's fry. A lot of cigarette ashes in here. Oh yeah. What's crazy now that I'm looking at it, these are like paints and crayons and stuff that obviously kids were using, so clearly kids sat in the back seat. But if you look closely in the cracks, it's all cigarette ash. Which means while the kids were in the back seat, mom or dad was smoking and just flicking their ash out the window, and it's going right back onto their kids. This right here is an air gun, high pressure air gun, one of my favorite tools. So now that we've vacuumed it, we're gonna use this and get everything up and out of the carpets before we shampoo the carpets. Most of these tools that I use, I have an Amazon link down below. So if you ever see something I use, you can click the Amazon link and find it in like my Amazon store, so you don't have to go shopping on Amazon. It's just an easier link to find this stuff. Let's get back to cleaning this Acura. Now that it's all blown out, I'm gonna vacuum it again, and then we can start working on all this nastiness. This right here is my absolute favorite tool. It takes the degreaser and sprays it out here, high powered, and it spins to break everything up. Then I'm gonna take a scrub brush and clean all that up again, and then wipe it down with a rag. Before I do that, I'm gonna give everything kind of just a pre-soak and let it sit for a minute. That way it kind of breaks everything up, and then I'm gonna use the high powered gun to really get in all the deep spots. Then we just give it a good wipe. You can see how much cleaner this is now. Anything that hands touch like shift knobs, e-brakes, steering wheels, directionals, they get really nasty with hand filth. So make sure to scrub those really, really good by hand. This is the grossest of all of it. So I'm gonna let all this stuff soak everywhere. Just let it sit. Be careful with leather. See how nice that came out down there? Be careful with leather because this stuff will take all the color out of leather if you leave it on too long. I like these bristles because they get in like all the deep cracks because they're nice, long, and soft. Just scrub the whole thing really, really well with this. And then you can even get in all the angles. You can see it gets in all the angles and all the cracks. If you look right there, you can see the dirt that's coming off of it. I wanted to point something out before I wiped it off. That right there is nicotine, and it's running all over the seats. You can see it all beating up. That's all nicotine. Imagine what your lungs look like if you smoke. Sorry, smokers. Now this right here, you could really tear your leather apart with a razor blade. So my angle is like almost completely even with the leather, and I'm just slowly trying to chip away at it. Be really careful. You don't want to tear the leather. I don't know what's worse, a ripped leather or this, whatever the heck this stuff is. Some of it even peels up. So right here it looks like it was like crayon or paint on the leather. So I'm very slowly taking this razor blade and going like I'm laying it against the leather. I'm just trying to chip off the layers of paint or melted crayon or whatever it is. And the majority of it's coming off. You can see the shavings. So this leather is actually turning out to be better than I expected, but you can shave the leather really easily, like right there. See how I just took some of the coloring off? So be careful if you're gonna do this. Now it's time for the carpets. So the carpets are fairly simple. We probably have some tools that you don't have that can clean the carpets, but I'm gonna show you how you can do it. So I took some degreaser, heavy degreaser, and I just sprayed it on everything. I mean, I soaked the carpets. Then I took a hose. You might not want to take a hose to the carpets, but it depends if you're really feeling up for it and if you have a place to let this car dry. I took a hose and just lightly wet the carpets. If you have a shampooer, that's essentially what a shampoo is doing, is spraying heavy soaps and water into the carpets. We used the degreaser and the hose to spray it down. We let it soak for a little bit. Now this is just a heavy bristle brush. We're going to scrub the heck out of this thing, and then I'm going to use my wet vac to soak it up. If you have a shampoo or an extractor, that's essentially exactly what an extractor does with a shampooer. Now, like I said, the extractor will take a lot of this out, but so will a wet vac. Just make sure there's no dirt in the wet vac already, because then you're just making mud inside of your vacuum. Now these seats need some love. Watch this, just a spray of degreaser. Watch how much comes off without even touching it. Oh, so gross that people sit like this. Look, it's starting to run off already. In here, that looks like it's never been cleaned. All right, again, heavy abrasive brush. I let this thing sit for a minute. Come in close right here. Look how gross that is. That is disgusting. Yeah, come back here and check that out. Oh, so nasty. I'm probably best to just hose it off when I'm done. Look at it over here. Hey everyone, thanks for watching. In the next video in this series, I'm going to show you how we clean the carpets, how nice the Acura actually came out, and I'll tell you what, it's sold within a week, so you get to find out how much we made off of the Acura. If you haven't yet subscribed, make sure to subscribe. A thumbs up is always appreciated to help boost our algorithm, and you can click on these two videos to either watch our series in a playlist or the best recommended video for you. I'll see you in part 2 of this episode.